Hello and welcome to Serpentine Road in Port of Spain for this SSFL Championship Division match between St. Mary's College and Blanchisseuse Secondary. I'm Vidya Rampal here with a commentary, and St. Mary's College in their traditional blue and white outfits, they will attack the goal to our left. Here's their team: Tyrese Henry in goal, and the team in front of him: Nikolai Manswell 2, 4, Molly Cullinger 5, Matthew Pascal, Raul
St. Mary's
Aguilera is 6,
Blanchisseuse.
Ryan Radelant 7, Kyle Phillip 10,
Blanchisseuse
Josiah
chances.
Connell 11, Romario Nelson 12, Jamel Thomas 19, and Harrison Parks, the captain, is 21. Final moment of prayer for St. Mary's before they get ready to start against their opponents, Blanchisseuse, who have made the 3-hour plus trip here to Serpentine Road for today's game. Blanchisseuse, they have Kirk Simon in goal, number 1. Jeffon Williams, the captain, is 5. 6, Andy Quintero, Kareem Vincent 7, Abraham Kirk 8, Roger Kirk 9, Aaron Marcano 10, Johan Blaisdell 11, Jesus Bailey 14, Manuel Hernandez 15, and Jeremiah Donowa is number 16. Jassian Krumer is the coach of Blanchisseuse, and Mike Grayson, familiar name for the St. Mary's College team coaching staff, formerly coached the Green Machine, St. Augustine Senior, to great success during the last century and the early part of this one. So we're just about ready for the start here, and St. Mary's College on their home grounds, one of the more beautiful grounds here, and certainly cameraman appreciating the heights of the ability to shoot from a higher region. So it is Blanchisseuse in the darker strips, and they are getting ready to go towards the right. And here we are. Here's the start of today's match, and it's Blanchisseuse that get us underway in those dark blue outfits, and immediately on the attack here against St. Mary's College. As this is Kirk, Abraham Kirk, who gets the ball just outside of the St. Mary's area, but he was overshadowed by members of the St. Mary's team, and the outfit of St. Mary's, certainly one of the more easily recognizable in Trinidad and Tobago football. However, it doesn't do much in terms of favors for commentators, as the numbers are not what they should be. Always makes it difficult for the St. Mary's team to figure out who's who if you're looking at the numbers, because the numbers are white against white background. I don't know how much sense that makes. We're in the first minute of the game here, and St. Mary's College, Mike Grayson in the coaching staff, Junior Maxwell is his assistant coach, Brian Charles the manager, and Cassius Humphreys the physio. Blanchisseuse has a very small staff, as you would expect, not certainly one of the well-heeled teams in the championship division, but they're here, the boys from Lafayette Road, to do battle with the St. Mary's team, one of the teams that has been St. Mary's actually one of the 2 teams that were part of a 2-team secondary schools football league all the way back in 1964 when the league started. St. Mary's and QRC, one of the great rivalries and the first great rivalry of secondary schools football. Here's Connell on that's actually Blaisdell on the far side, and tackled out of it, throw in for Blanchisseuse. A few of the other schools, some of their students making their way across the field. There's a little bit of banter going on that side. Blaisdell just losing out on the far side as St. Mary's get going once again. Runs out of play. I'm sure those aren't the ball boys congregating on the far side of the field. St. Mary's, one of the oldest schools in Trinidad and Tobago, established back in 1863, just to be exact. 1863, with just about a handful of students. Now, population of over 12,000, and certainly the 11 men on the field right now would want to do their school some justice. Mary's on the attack here. They will get a free kick on the far side of the field. That was Brooks, I believe it was, who committed the infringement. Headed away. Back with Blanchisseuse now. Getting some space down the right-hand side, but it's very soft on the foot. And it was Young who slipped there as he was attempting to get control. Here now is a Ryan Radelant, and what a sliding challenge that is. Left no room for negotiation there, Jeffon Williams, the captain of Blanchisseuse. Certainly he's enjoying the wet conditions here. And look at this for a tackle. Now he got past his man there, Radelant, and here comes Williams. He's sliding in, and Radelant did well to leap and vault over that challenge. Serpentine Road, certainly one of the great venues for football in Trinidad and Tobago. St. Mary's, they have the names of some of their outstanding sportsmen emblazoned on the other side of the pavilion, as you're seeing there. Some of the students at the ground level watching the game. There are a lot more upstairs, as you can see. There is Mandela Park in the background and the Queen's Park Oval close by. Here is St. Mary's on the attack here. Captain has kept this in play. That's Harrison Parks. Gets the cross in, and it's dropped by the keeper, and eventually he picks it up. He's one of the smallest men on the field, Kirk Simon, the goalkeeper for the Blanchisseuse team. And they are on the attack once again. Full of running here is Kirk. That's the other Kirk, Abraham Kirk, number 8. Kept in play, and only enough for the defender to get it. Radelant has been active in the early stages of this game down the left-hand side. So the coaching staff just having some quick words, just making sure that all is well here for both teams. So just outside of the area, this field you tend to find a lot of spectators out. St. Mary's actually going down for the first time in this century. For the 36 years between 1964 and 2000, St. Mary's stayed put in the top division of secondary schools football. Shortly after that, I think it's 2007, they went down for the first time. Back up here in the championship again, eliminated last year from the Premiership. Sure, it wouldn't take long for them to get back into the top level that many feel they should be as one of the top schools in Port of Spain. Here's Kirk. Can't get past the challenge, but still managing to get past two players there with one fall swoop. Long ball forward, and that should be easy for the keeper. Field that has produced some fine cricketers over the years. Actually, one of their cricketers was also an excellent footballer. The man whose name, who was named, the Chinaman was named after, Ellis Achong. It's actually a St. Mary's College player. He was also an inside left for Trinidad and Tobago as a teenager, youngest player in his time for St. Mary's College and Trinidad and Tobago. Certainly one of the early ones. And here's Radelant. He gets some space here. He has the last defender to beat. And once again, beating him to the punch was Jeffon Williams. And that's good work by Williams. They just waited Bider this time to get his opening. And as Radelant was attempting to just push that beyond him with the left foot, got the well-timed tackle in. So that has earned St. Mary's College the corner. Radelant himself will take it. And that hasn't beaten Williams again, who is easily emerging as his nemesis early in this game. That didn't go very far. Here is Calendar for St. Mary's College. Oh, slip at the back there, almost a Steven Gerrard type slip, but they won't be punished for it. St. Mary's had adequate cover. And again, here's Radelant and Williams. Let's see who's going to win this battle this time. Williams, he gets the better of him. Radelant gets the pass inside. There could be a chance here for St. Mary's. They do get back possession. And eventually, again, here's Williams to make the stop and knock that out of play. The captain of Blanchisseuse gets that away from the St. Mary's attacker. Radelant was offering for it, but just those two St. Mary's players getting in each other's way, and that allowed Williams enough space to move in and knock it in. Blanchisseuse, in case you didn't know, on the north coast of Trinidad, 24 kilometers north of Arima. And it was settled by the French back in 1783. Would explain why it has a French name. Name actually translates to washerwoman, by the way, in case you're interested. So Blanchisseuse, the school from Paria Main Road in La Fillette, down here to do battle with St. Mary's College. That's a long battle for Cook, and he does well to get past the defender. He's full of running, Cook, and manages to get past the second defender. Can he get the shot off now? He does. May have been better advised to play that out towards the left-hand side. First shot on goal there by the Blanchisseuse team. St. Mary's have still managed that one not on goal this time, but they still have not gotten a shot on goal just yet. There was just one cross that Kirk Simon made the save, and here's could be the first chance here for St. Mary's. Well, that one, the shot not coming in, the defender doing well. That shot is saved by the keeper. There's a rebound and saved. First shot on goal here for St. Mary's College, and that is one that the keeper did well to save. Kirk Simon, maybe the smallest man on the field, but he did well to get down. It wasn't exactly the most powerful of shots, just seemed to skip off the grass in front of him, but got his body enough behind it to make the save. First 10 minutes of the game, and despite a few raids by Abraham Cook, it's been all St. Mary's so far. And here's another shot on goal, which this time again, not a very powerful shot. And it's the second shot on goal here for St. Mary's College. So they have definitely gone into the ascendancy in this match. Heavy conditions here at Serpentine Road. And not going to suit the passing game of the St. Mary's College team. Just have to strike that ball a little bit harder than you expect. This one's knocked into the heart of the defense, and Blanchisseuse has come away with it comfortably. So St. Mary's looking for another opening here, and possibly what they hope will be their opening goal. Well, Williams did well. He held off the St. Mary's attacker, and Simon, in fact, was very, very slow to get off his line. That's what he was calling for him. Almost had to send him a text message and an SOS at the same time before the keeper came. That's too far ahead of Radilant for him to be able to stop that one. And he sportingly chases down the ball for the ball boys and the Blanchisseuse Secondary School. If anything, that rope at the back there might not be well positioned, because you're chasing down a ball. You suddenly might end up getting yourself clotheslined at the back there. Might have to rethink that one in terms of how close it is. Not good control by the right back there for Blanchisseuse. That is Hernandez, and allows that to skip past him. Out for a throw-in for St. Mary's College. Radilant takes it and goes for the return ball. Pascal was there with him. The cross comes in towards the far post. And has that gone out for a corner? It has. So St. Mary's College will have the corner on the far side. And more of the St. Mary's faithful coming out. There they are in their light blue and khaki pants. Light blue shirts and khaki pants. Three of the players shouting some advice as St. Mary's go on the offensive, looking for the opening goal here. That's headed away. Looked like Donowa was in there. Radilant again. He's seen a lot of the ball so far. Beats Hernandez. Gets the cross in, but not too far, and it's cleared away by the defense. That was Cook trying to get the cross in. Mary's a good width here for St. Mary's early. Radelant providing some space, and here's the shot which turns into a good pass inside left position. Oh, that was heading towards the far post, still might be alive here. That's good defensive work by Blanchisseuse. Shot on goal, inside right channel now. Blanchisseuse struggling to get it clear. It has been a dominant performance by St. Mary's so far. They have been threatening without having too much in terms of shots on goal. 3 shots on goal so far, but nothing that has troubled Simon Kirk in a huge way. Serpentine Road here is large enough to have 2 football fields, possibly a third. But this is the main pitch here used by the St. Mary's College top team. That's their championship team. Rather aimless clearance. Headed away by the Blanchisseuse defense. Here's Pascal. Well, there are too many blue shirts in front of him, and his attempt to tread the ball through was not successful. St. Mary's take over here, just in front of the bench of the Blanchisseuse team. And CIC on the attack again. That's as they are called. Cleared this time by Hernandez. Only as far as the St. Mary's captain, who is Parks. Saw Radelant in the Tiger Tanks on the 20 men's football competition earlier this year. Certainly one of those who would have been part of the teams out of Port of Spain. Mary's trying to attack down the right-hand side. As you can see there, the concrete strip at the back. One of the many training aspects, one of the reasons why St. Mary's have produced so many national players. They have the facilities, and they make room for sports in the curriculum. Towards the near post, not cleared cleanly. Oh, that should have been better. The shot was not well taken at all. It was actually heading away from goal when it was struck. This is a much better attempt, and that is Simon with a brilliant save. And that's the 4th shot on goal there for St. Mary's College. That was hit with some venom. Look at that. Comes in, and he hits it right-footed. And that was Molly Callender, and that was a fine save by Kirk Simon. Might be the smallest man on the field. He barely looks like he's above half of the goalpost, but he made some good height there to save that one. A fine shot there by Molly Callender. St. Mary's have another corner here, and they are looking good for the opening goal. Knocked towards the middle of the park and headed away, and knocked back into the area. St. Mary's threatening again. Still they can't get it clear. Blanchisseuse, and that is wide of the mark. One that was struck fiercely, and I think he's hit that straight out of play. May have hit his own player, in fact. A real melee there, and there was a shot. Once again, it was that Callender? It was who got the shot off, and that seemed to hit, to me, yeah, it did seem to hit one of the Blanchisseuse players, and out off the back, in fact, and goes out for a corner. So St. Mary's are really piling on the pressure here. Blanchisseuse holding on by their nails at the moment. CIC threatening for the opening goal, and that's in! An Olympico goal here in the 17th minute. 17 minutes in, and St. Mary's College have gone ahead, and that one went in directly from the corner. Hit with the outside of the right foot. The goalkeeper missed it, and that's the disadvantage of his height. And I think also with the sunshine directly in his eyes, he's seen the ball go into the back of the net, and that is what they call the Olympico, El Olympico by Josiah Connell, and Connell scoring in the 17th minute, and that's 1-0 to St. Mary's. You don't often see that in football, but it was a really well-struck corner. He hit it with the outside of the right foot. Now, the goalkeeper may have expected that one to curl out towards out towards the penalty area, but this one actually started inside the 6-yard box and then started to curve towards the back post. There was no one on the back post for Blanchisseuse, and that may have made the clearance a bit easier. They're trying to strike back immediately here. That's over pushed there by Blaisdell, and St. Mary's get it clear, but that is a very, very rare strike. You don't see that very often. Right-footed strike from the corner that goes directly into the back of the net. That one turned very, very sharply in the air. I don't think that's the last time we're going to see Connell try that. And that's a disadvantage of the height of the goalkeeper there. Simon had no answer to it. While his springing power to the left or right has been good, up and towards a ball dropping behind him, certainly a weakness there. This one breaks down again here. St. Mary's. Oh, that's a good tackle. He gets the ball. What's the referee's call going to be? Well, it's going to be a free kick, I believe, to go to St. Mary's. It's just outside of the box. You can see here. You can see the contact taking place just outside of the box. Referee actually is Charlize Hood, former national player. Saw her also during the TIGERTANKS under 20. She was a part of the refereeing panel for that particular tournament. Richard Hood, her father, is the coach of the police team. St. Mary's here trying one of their routines that they do very much right here on this very ground. Not working out that time. The final strike was straight at the wall, which did not do its job very well. Parks has come away with it here for St. Mary's College. It's been a grim battle here for Blanchisseuse to hold on against their more storied opponents, St. Mary's College. Multiple North Zone titles in Intercol and League. Also at the national level, they have been brilliant. Produced so many great players over the years. Let's see what they're going to do from this attempt. Another one that hits the bar. Two players coming in, unable to turn in the ball. Two of the St. Mary's strikers were coming in, and the ball came off the bar and bisected them perfectly, if you're a Blanchisseuse fan. Look at that. Touched onto the bar and just between those two men coming in. And that is a good save. You have to put that down as a good save by Kirk Simon. Just got the right hand on it to push it onto the bar. But not a bad idea at all to strike it towards goal. That may have been Harrison Parks who hit that shot from distance there. Hit it very well. And really deserved a goal from that one. Heading up towards the first quarter of the match. And we've seen St. Mary's absolutely dominant here. Blanchisseuse have been kept at arm's length. If you're a believer that the best form of defense is attack, well, that's what St. Mary's have done here. Radelant is trying to get his way around Hernandez, who actually gives it back to St. Mary's in a dangerous position. They have men queuing up to shoot here. The deflection takes it towards goal, but the keeper makes the save. So St. Mary's College, they've had a couple of chances in the last couple of minutes here, and that one just deflecting away. I think that was Jamel Thomas. Just a slight deflection, took the sting out of it. And Simon, who's very strong away to his left, made another vital stop for his team. St. Mary's could have been 4 or 5 ahead already at this point, but for his interventions. And Blanchisseuse attacking with 3 up front. And at the center of that attack, once again, Abraham Kirk, his pass, if he had played it a square pass to Aaron Marcano, he would have been in business there. Lovely bit of play here by St. Mary's. They're attacking in bunches now. And here's the shot by, this time by Aguilera Nunez. That one, Raul Aguilera Nunez with the hyphenated last name. That one goes straight into the grateful arms of Simon. Another nice threaded pass. Radelant gets this one. Cuts inside. And that's a good tackle. It brings him down, but the ball was played first. And Blanchisseuse lived to fight another day. They're down by a 1-0 here. A really fine Olympico goal directly from the corner. Here come the Saints again, and they win another corner. So are we going to see another attempt here by Connell? Josiah Connell, I'm sure 10 wild horses couldn't drag the ball away from him right now. St. Mary's faithful at the back of the goal. Certainly enjoyed that first strike of his. There's one Woodbrook Place away to the right. And Mandela Park just behind the pavilion here. Well, let's see if Connell's going to try it again. He gives his signal. Hits it right-footed. This time an outswinger, which is bouncing around inside the area. And St. Mary's College unable to get that one clear. Well, that hit onto the cricket pitch and spun past the St. Mary's College player. Still, they get the ball back. Play had actually restarted, but just a bit too sharp there for the liking of their own players. And that one goes behind for a goal kick. And it really does emphasize the small nature of the Blanchisseuse goalkeeper. I think he's the smallest man on the park. You would tend to find the keeper as the tallest one on the park. But don't tell Simon Kirk Simon that. He's out there to do battle for his team. And the team from La Fillette, they've been under the gun in the first 25 minutes here against this rampant St. Mary's College team. More space down the right-hand side for them. Blanchisseuse have found a little... there's a shot on goal and straight towards Simon again. And it's been like a shooting gallery so far. Blanchisseuse have found just one shot on goal. St. Mary's, I believe, have had 6 so far. In fact, 10 shots for the home team to the 1 by the Blanchisseuse team. Randelant again involved in the move, but this time Hernandez gets the foot in and makes the stop. Championship division, there have been, while Charlie's Hood is out there as the official referee, referee's assistants have been hard to come by. And a few volunteers, one volunteer on the right side of the field. The official AR2 is out there. Coach of the Blanchisseuse team just holds his head in dismay. Possession 75-25 so far. Seems about right. Here at Serpentine Road, where the home team CIC have been absolutely running away with it. The scoreline may not suggest that, but they have been absolutely dominant. In fact, 75-25 may not fully reflect it. More like 80-20 sometimes. This one struck towards goal, and it was Parks again trying his luck from distance, but this time not the same sort of purchase as he got the first time, and Kirk Simon making the save. St. Mary's College on the attack, and that ball holding up in the surface. And Blaisdell, who's had very little success down the left-hand side, has something finally to chase after. Pascal gets this one forward for St. Mary's. They give it back to Blanchisseuse, but that's only temporary as St. Mary's take it over once again. Nice one-time pass there by Aguilera Nunez. And knocked out of play there by Kareem Vincent on the left-hand side for Blanchisseuse. So it will be a throw-in for St. Mary's, and Raul corner, in fact, and Aguilera Nunez is heading over to take it. Thought Connell would have been racing across the field to take it again, but they have gone a little bit different here. He's perhaps going to tell you that lightning doesn't strike twice. I'm sure you'll remember that goal for a long time. Here's Aguilera Nunez. In towards the near post and headed towards goal and just away from the upright. Certainly the St. Mary's fans who are here to watch this game, I'm sure they are more than happy with how their team has performed. Perhaps the scoreline has not exactly been to their liking. They really should have had at least a couple of goals already in this match. Serpentine Road certainly does look a picture, doesn't it? Outside of cricket and football, rugby is also held here. Several of the International Rugby Sevens tournaments have been held at this particular venue. Hockey is also played here. And mentioned cricket. There's a side screen, of course. The white side screens away to the right of your picture. Certainly is one of the historic grounds. Actually was the third incarnation of the St. Andrews Golf Club course was here at in this particular area at one time. So a lot of history. People are still walking around the field, getting a little warm up as they watch the football while they're doing so. Here's Parks for St. Mary's College. Just trips around Bailey as if he weren't there. Vincent was challenging for that. Comes off the body of Connell, who manages to retain possession despite the very close attention there of Donowa, number 16 for Blanchisseuse. That one runs over the line and out towards the right side. Kyle Phillip is going to retrieve this one for St. Mary's College. Romario Nelson, well, his uniform looking very, very clean. I tell you what, you're in defense in a game like this, you don't have too much to do. That's why he's volunteered to have a kick here. Not the type of weather for high heels, as that lady just behind the ball can attest. Rather gingerly making her way across. Wonder if she's a teacher at St. Mary's College. Somebody should have warned her about coming to the ground in high heels. Gentleman in what looks like a Brazilian outfit there. Sure, he's hoping his team could win the World Cup starting in later on in Qatar. This one's hit towards goal. It's not a bad policy from St. Mary's College, and given the size of the goalkeeper, Kirk Simon, and the fact that the first goal has come in a situation like that, it's not a bad policy at all to hit those high shots in on goal. So Blanchisseuse, accessible through Port of Spain from the north coast through the Blanchisseuse Road via Rima, through the Northern Range, or you come along past Maracas Bay, through the Lafayette area, Maracas Bay, and then into Port of Spain. Not a 3-hour drive by any means, just maybe 45 minutes to an hour or so in given traffic conditions. Don't think Waze is going to give me an hour, though. It might give me a bit more. Finally, Blanchisseuse make a raid here, and it is Kirk who's leading it. That's Roger Kirk, one of the two Kirk boys out there. Abraham on the right-hand side and Roger Kirk on the left. Blaisdell was in the center there looking for to pick up the scraps. Andy Quintaro, the number 6 for Blanchisseuse, was also there. Now we've had the first corner of the match here for Blanchisseuse. There have been 4 for St. Mary's so far, and just the 1 now for the team from the North Coast in Trinidad. That's struck left-footed. And that's a good corner mayhem here. And Blanchisseuse were a kick away from the equalizer. Still they have possession. And you see this happen so many times when a team has been so dominant. When they take their foot off the accelerator, the other team can come back and get the equalizer. That's a nice-looking run, but the shot did not match the quality of the work before it. There was a deflection, and Blanchisseuse will have a second corner here. Can they strike from a dead ball situation? And as they prepare for the corner, there's the future of St. Mary's College. It looks like members of the under-16, under-14 team just practicing at the back, and there are more goalposts away towards the back there as the youngsters get ready for their matches in perhaps the Form 3 league. This one is hit towards goal and cleared. And there is Williams. Williams, it's a one-man show out there for Williams at the moment. Here's Blaisdell getting involved, and Williams. And here's Vincent. Now chasing on to that is Kirk. Not sure what Kirk was trying to do there. Only managed to knock it away for Tyrese Henry, the forgotten figure at the back there for St. Mary's. He hasn't had a lot to do at all. Now St. Mary's on the attack here. And that could have been a nice breakaway move that could have led to a second goal. The shot from distance here only hits the defender. And now Blanchisseuse go the other way. This is not a bad ball at all. He's onto it. Blanchisseuse and scores! What a goal! And Blanchisseuse have equalized in the 33rd minute. Exactly what I was saying. St. Mary's taking their foot off the gas. Blaisdell stayed onside. And what a finish from outside the area. And Tyrese Henry, who hasn't had much to do at all, has to pick the ball out to the back of his net. And that is Blaisdell with the goal, and it's 1-1. So very much against the run of play. Blanchisseuse are back, and they've brought this back to parity here. And what a strike by Blaisdell. Great credit to Blanchisseuse. They've been overrun in the first 32 minutes of the game and have managed to come back to get the equalizer here. So great credit to them. All to do here once again for CIC as they hope to get the 3 points in this game. CIC, as mentioned, one of the storied teams. They had a visit during the last couple of days by several ministers. Senator the Honorable Donna Cox, Minister of Social Development and Family Services, visited the school, as well as Dr. the Honorable Nian Gatsby-Dolly, the Minister of Education, and the Honorable Lisa Morris-Julian, Minister in the Ministry of Education, visited St. Mary's over the last couple of days, and I'm sure the students would have been buoyed by the visit of the ministers there. One that's crossed in. St. Mary's on the attack again. Radilantier, he has to turn quickly and shoot. He does. That hits a player, and there could be a chance here. And St. Mary's, that one deflected away for a corner. That should have been the second goal. And CIC, for all their attention and all of their probing away so far, have not been able to get the ball into the net for a second time. That one hit the defender, and again it was Jeffon Williams who got in the way. And St. Mary's will have a second, another corner. This is corner number 11, rather 5 for St. Mary's. They've had 13 shots on goal, and only one that has found its way into the back of the net. And that one was one of the more unlikely ways to score. The Olympico goal coming in straight from the corner. Connell is going to try his luck again here with the right foot. There was an near post. Off the defender. CIC still have it here. Nice bit of footwork to get the cross in. And the header towards goal. And doesn't find a mark, but it does find Radilant, who beats the defender with a nice little looking move there. Mary still threatening. Parks with the shot. Another shot which is blocked. They still have the possession, but rather weak ball there by Aguilera Nunez. And it comes away. They come away with it, Blanchisseuse. Here's Parks floating a cross in that is straight into the midriff of Simon, who collects that well. Bowls it out towards Blaisdell, the goal scorer, who gets the foul. St. Mary's certainly have been stung by that goal, and really a well-taken goal from Blaisdell. He knew he wouldn't have the measure of the defender in terms of speed, because the defender seemed to would have had him covered. Decided to go for the first-time shot, and I think that is what got it past Tyrese Henry, who was still trying to plant his feet to get his balance right to make the save. Suddenly he was surprised to see the ball flying towards him. And now he watches as Radilant trying to get past Williams. And he does get past him this time. Williams has come away with the ball. Radilant hit the turf, and he was looking at referee Charlie's hood as if to suggest, was that a penalty, ma'am? 8 minutes to go to halftime here. And St. Mary's looking for the go-ahead goal. Still they attack away. Here is Radilant inside towards Connell. Comes away with it there, Blanchisseuse. Abraham Cook, who is now back in the midfield, just gives you an idea of how much they have been pushed back. When Cook touched the ball the first time, he was inside just outside of the St. Mary's box. He's touching that almost halfway through his own side of the field. It's Parks here for St. Mary's. Tripped up. And will the referee pull play back here. I think she has, in fact, blown the whistle and has given a free kick. Parks there. That hit in the back of his calf. Just trying to stretch that out to make sure he's okay. Charlize Hood just looks on to see, checking on the health of the player in front of her. So there's the possession stats, 70% to 30. Blanchisseuse says 5% increase in possession. Who says that 5% is not a lot? They did enough during that time to come back to 1-1. 13 shots to 3. Well, there you go for efficiency. 3 shots in goal and 1 goal to go with it for Blanchisseuse. They're making the most out of a limited number of chances. And there's the important stat there. 1-1. 1 shot on target. 1 shot, 1 goal. Six minutes to go to halftime, and still they're stretching out the leg here of Parks. There is the physio for St. Mary's College, Cassius Humphrey, who is just making sure that the youngster is able to continue. Charlize Hood, a former Trinidad and Tobago under 20 player. She actually was part of the TNT under 20 team, turned to refereeing. She was part of a rap course in Trinidad and Tobago just earlier this year. Charlize Hood. When I say a rap course, I'm talking about the Trinidad and Tobago assistant referee, the referee assistance program. That's where the rap comes in. FIFA referee assistance program was conducted earlier this year in July, and Caleb Wales, the TNT assistant referee who has been appointed to the 2022 FIFA World Cup Finals in Qatar, he was part of that, complimented the TTFA on hosting that. For the moment, Parks looks to be okay, and he will continue here. He's not going to take the free kick, still rather gingerly stretching out those muscles. And referee Hood just asked the St. Mary's players to just hold on until they're ready. CIC on their backs just above the numbers. Here's Aguilera Nunes does not decide to hit this one, and it has broken kindly here for Blanchisseuse. Here's Kareem Vincent to get that clear. Very much right-footed Kareem Vincent playing on the left side of defense. That alone gives a story of what a makeshift side this has been here for Blanchisseuse. Still, they are level here with the might of CIC. Despite being overrun for the first half an hour of the game, it's 1-1 at the moment. A real shape to the Blanchisseuse game at the moment here. Show that you're only allowed to play as much as you're only allowed sometimes to play in a certain way by your opposition. Exchange of minds there between the Blanchisseuse player and the St. Mary's man. And they're still going at it on the far side. Referee. Sure, he's inquiring about the trip back to Blanchisseuse, how long it's going to take. 3 minutes to go to halftime, and Blanchisseuse will certainly want to take their time with this free kick. That's Cook on the far side. Was that a foul? Mike Grayson says yes. The referee says no. They're broken down the left-hand side again here, Blanchisseuse. And the cross is coming in. And cleared by St. Mary's. All the way back to Williams, who's been the player of the game so far for the visitors here at Serpentine Road. Radilan now just one-on-one at the moment. Can he get past the defender? Has to get it onto the right foot. And as he does so, the chance is gone. That's one of the disadvantages, of course, of the inverted wingers. Can't get it on the right foot, and you are not two-footed. Always a problem. St. Mary's trying to get this one clear with Nelson, and they do. Redland has to drop back into his own half now. Long ball downfield, but that should be easy for the Blanchisseuse defense to get clear. Vincent enjoys playing around with the football and almost plays himself into trouble before getting it away. But he has provided some space here for St. Mary's, who are attacking down the right-hand side. Here's the shot on goal, and a rather disappointing effort there that drifts beyond the far post. St. Mary's faithful looking on, and well, I'm sure they are a lot happier after the first half an hour with how their team had performed. But a rare raid up front by Blanchisseuse when they had maybe about a 2 or 3 minute period where they dominated the game, and they got a goal, and that's all that matters here. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much possession you have. It is that final scoreline that says it all. That's what appears in the papers the next day. 1-1 at the moment here. Saints have 45 seconds to change the scoreline, unless their counterparts from the North Coast can do the same. Very wet day, and not a bad day to walk with an umbrella. Hot sunshine in the afternoon. Here is the, well, that was a cross there by Kirk, and it will actually go down as a shot on goal because Henry did well to rise high at his near post to make the stop. That will count as the second shot on goal for the visitors here to Serpentine Road. Here's Pascal. Breakaway here for the Saints, who could go 2 up, and that's missed. Well, that should have been the second goal, and breaking clear on the far side and not able to put it away. St. Mary's College should have been 2-1 ahead here. I believe it is, in fact, is that Connell who put that wide. Went wide of the mark, with the keeper advancing. Credit there to Simon in goal for Blanchisseuse. He was quickly up to the striker to narrow the angle and forced him wide enough to miss the back post. So we're into time added on for stoppages, and St. Mary's should have been ahead 2-1 there. Hasn't worked out for them so far. So CIC, after a really explosive start, a dominant start for them in the first 30 minutes or so, were rocked in the 33rd minute when Blaisdell equalized. Here's another shot on goal. This time wide of the mark. That make it the 16th shot by St. Mary's College. 16-4 in terms of shots. The only stat that matters is the scoreline that you see in the top left-hand corner, the 1-1 scoreline. And those sitting in the Father Jerry Panton Pavilion would be a lot less happy right now, unless the goal goes in at this point. 3 minutes of time added on for stoppages, as you can see there. And here's another shot on goal, which is stoutly defended again by Blanchisseuse. Long pass here by Kirk to his namesake. Gets beyond the last defender and shoots and scores! And Blanchisseuse are ahead. Incredible! And there is the second goal. Time added on for stoppages. And the unfancied Blanchisseuse with another raid. And look at that finish. Got it past Henry, off the post, into the back of the net. And that is 2-1. And Blanchisseuse, who've only had 4 shots on goal, have had 2 goals. What a turnaround here. And CIC, even the under-16s have stopped training. They've been absolutely mystified. So that's 2-1 to Blanchisseuse, and certainly for those who would have left at the 30-minute mark to go and get something and come back, they would come back here and wonder what has happened, as the team from the North Coast have attacked successfully on the break twice and have scored 2 goals. What a turnaround in this game. If you call cricket the game of glorious uncertainties, football is living up to that. They're trying to go back to a level here. St. Mary's! And that's smashed wide. We could have had 3 goals in this time. The time added on for stoppages here. What an exciting first half. If the second half lives up to what we've seen in the first, this is going to be a real cracker here. But CIC rocked by 2 goals here. 17th and 45th minute, the 2 goals going in. Well, the free kick about to be taken, so any minute now the whistle will go to sound to end the first half. Well, it's been quite interesting this first half, with CIC dominating, only getting 1 goal, and Blanchisseuse scoring 2 goals within the space of 22 minutes. And 2 shots on goal during that period. Wow, what a turnaround. Amazing stuff here by the team from the North Coast. And if that actually was the tactics by Jassy and Nkrumah to attack on the break and absorb the pressure and attack on the break, it has worked spectacularly well here for Blanchisseuse, who now have a free kick late in the first half. Kirk is going to head back into the center. 2 teammates there bickering between each other. You'd never think that they were 2-1 ahead here. Free kick towards the goal. Oh, the keepers had to save that. That was brilliant there by Henry. And they were looking and so close to a 3rd goal there. Almost gave St. Mary's a taste of their own medicine. And still Kirk was arguing as that shot came in. And I think the argument was over who should have taken the free kick. And I think that the correct decision was made. Almost went in. And they're so confident now. There's the striker just juggling the ball towards the corner flag. That's Roger Kirk. He's certainly up for it. Yeah, that's one of the other St. Mary's teams. That looks like the Form 1 team practicing away to the left there. Knocked into the area again. Blanchisseuse up for this. Here's the shot off the defender. A follow-up shot is wide this time. Well, the whistle has finally gone here. Charlie's Hood has brought an exciting half to an end. We've played 5.5 minutes of time added on for stoppages, and St. Mary's, who are leading 75-25 in terms of possession, Blanchisseuse have made the best use out of limited time. 4 shots on goal, 2 goals to go. St. Mary's 17 shots to 7 from Blanchisseuse, but they've only found 1 that has hit the mark and has gone in here. So that's the situation here, and the visitors lead by 2 goals to 1 at Serpentine Road. Hope that you will join us for the second half, which is in a couple of minutes, as we resume commentary here at Serpentine Road. It's St. Mary's 1, Blanchisseuse 2.
next player. Oleh ni acha ni film. Oh, that is one ni ane. Oh. Wei looking off now, eh. Ah, boy. When it's all be chilly. Huh? You might want to be a mean rough, no? Yeah, you want to be mean rough. You call everything.
Welcome back to Serpentine Road for the Secondary Schools Football League Championship encounter between St. Mary's College and Blanchisseuse Secondary. And what a turnaround we've had. The scoreline might surprise some. Blanchisseuse leading by 2-1. St. Mary's absolutely dominant in the first half an hour. Just getting one goal, an Olympico goal, direct from the corner by Connell, that he hit actually surprisingly with a right foot that curled in at the back post and went into the top corner of the net. After that, they absolutely dominated. St. Mary's were all over Blanchisseuse like white on rice. However, in the 33rd minute, Blaisdell getting a chance to shoot at goal, hit a really good shot that beat Tyrese Henry in goal for CIC, and they got the equalizer as players restarted here. And then in time added on for stoppages, Blanchisseuse absolutely stunned St. Mary's with a fine goal, a shot that was hit from a tight angle which beat the keeper and thudded into the back of the net. And they were behind for the first time in this game, CIC. Now they're looking to get back to equal terms here. And the man leading the charge on the far side, Connell, was the man who was herring down the left-hand side for them. St. Mary's do have some options they can exercise in the second half. Elijah Wong is one of them. The number 14, Nathan Young, is also available. Here is the ball played in, and this is a chance here for St. Mary's. And that was hit away from goal. That was a very, very good chance, and he really should have scored. Didn't get himself in a great position here for the shot. There's the man coming in in the middle, and maybe just the positioning of the body was what was not quite right there for Ryan Radelant, and his shot went in the same direction the ball came from. So Radelant, who started out on the left side for St. Mary's, has been pushed into that center forward channel, and his first attempt is to hit the ball wide from a very, very good position. That should have been the second goal for St. Mary's. They should have been back level at 2-2. So Nathan Young, number 8, Elijah Wong is also capable of coming on. Amari Phillips, number 16, Elvaldo Garcia. Love that first name, Elvaldo. He is number 17 for St. Mary's. 18, Christopher Brooks. Duzan Cooper, the number 20, and 24, Akinathan Richardson. All of those are options for St. Mary's College as they trying to find this equalizer. That's a good ball. Finds Radelant, who's now on the right-hand side now. Cuts inside, and the keeper makes the save. Kurt Simon comes to a big here for his team again, and now the header is wide. 2 chances for Radelant early here, and he has muffed both of them. This one was an attempt at goal. Nothing wrong with this. The keeper came for it and did well to snuff out the chance. And then when the second chance came in, here's the cross. Knocked in here by Aguilera Nunez, and that one was turned over bar. 2 players were in position to score there, and neither... well, the man who had the best chance there was Radelant and couldn't find the right header. Well, he should have really tried to get a flick header. Didn't do so, and that one skies over the bar. Now, otherwise, for the scoreline today, it has been a fine start to the season for St. Mary's. Last game against Bucarapo, they turned them aside 3-0. Kyle Phillip getting a couple of goals, and Molly Callender, he got one. The big defender who hit that shot from outside of the area earlier, he got the other goal there. So they ran out 3-0 winners against Bucarapo. And he felt that there would have been a similar scoreline in this one, the way that St. Mary started. However, Blanchisseuse have gotten their tactics right. 2 goals from breaks in the first half. Can they get another one here? Inside the area for Marcano. Well, Hernandez, excuse me, and he tries to tiptoe through 3 or 4 defenders. Can't do so. Now St. Mary's bring it the other way. Here is Radelant. That's a good ball through the center. That Garcia's come on there. Now here's a run on the far side. This is Connell. Gets past one. And the second defender is there. And once again, he gets a taste of what Radelant had in the first half, where Jeffon Williams was an absolute monster game for his team there to make the stop again. Blanchisseuse get it clear. It's knocked downfield. That's knocked forward here by Parks. Radelant is after this one, but the defender gets there first, and Hernandez does well to swing that one clear. St. Mary's a goal behind here, and they need to get something going. They've had 2 chances so far neither able to, they haven't been able to put away either of them. Keeper is called forward to come to this one, and belatedly Simon arrives and makes the stop. Yeah, in fact, Williams was beckoning to him to come for that ball. The only thing he didn't do was send an engraved invitation to Simon, who was maybe not quite as confident in coming to the ball. I think he and Williams still have to work on their communication. All the way back by Manswell to his keeper. That's well played by Henry. He was under heavy pressure. Did well to get that clear. Beautifully played out of defense here by CIC. Heavy conditions here. I know that would certainly work against their players, who are a lot of touch players in that team. But it is their home ground. They would know the conditions well. They know what to expect when the rain falls like this. Manswell bangs that one forward. Only as far as Blaisdell here. Blaisdell and Marcano getting in each other's way. The shot from distance. Certainly not an impressive one. I like the shot that he produced in the first half that went and hit the back of the net. There's the assistant referee, one of the young men who have volunteered to do the lines today. He was actually as AR1 at the start of the game, switched over to AR2 for the second half. Parks gets that back. St. Mary's retained possession here. Seen so many of these Michael Grayson teams over the years, and especially at St. Augustine, possession based, and he enjoys that sort of football. If you meet him on the street, Mike Grayson, you wouldn't know that this is one of the fine coaches at youth level in Trinidad and Tobago. Always smile on his face, Mike Grayson. Serious looking contender at times though. St. Mary's trying to take control of the midfield here. This one's knocked in towards the area. There are two players there. That's a good header back. And Williams is a real candidate here for man of the match. That was a difficult ball to contend with, but took the bounce well and headed it back to his keeper Simon. Now sends it downfield. Without his presence there at the back for Blanchisseuse, it could have been a different proposition. It could have been a cricket score already. Radilon looking for support in the center. Switches over to the right now, but only finds one player in a blue shirt here, who sets Blanchisseuse back in motion. They're not afraid to play that long ball. That was the secret to those two goals that they got in the first half. This time, St. Mary's defending the long ball a bit better. Another one of those long raking passes, and Manswell gets in on the end of it. Should be Simon's ball, and is. Almost ran past that there, Kirk Simon. Yes, distribution. Well, he doesn't look as though he's going to kick it a long way, but the distribution there was excellent as he finds an outlet quickly. They've absorbed a lot of pressure, Blanchisseuse, and they've been able to get the goals on the break. Can they do so again in the second half? Certainly, St. Mary's will change their tactics in the second half. So far, we've seen they have kept an extra player deep, and they've been able to cut out the long ball. Kept a closer eye on the man. Well, that's offside there. That was very, very interesting indeed. Marcano was found in an offside position, and the St. Mary's centre-back was actually hopping mad and almost demanding the offside. That's interesting. It wasn't Pascal, I think. It might have been Calendar, but he was just hopping mad and begging almost for the offside before it was taken. And Marcano unsportingly kicked the ball away. Luckily, he didn't get himself a yellow card for that. Bit of commotion on the far side. The two benches having an exchange of words there. Meeting of minds. Not sure what's happening. It's not the place right next to the bench to do commentary. I did commentary on a St. Mary's match here once. Some of the language around me did make it on air, which it wasn't supposed to. 55th minute of the game here, and it's 2-1 in favor of the team from the North Coast. He's not able to keep at that in play, is he? Yeah, that's out by Marcano. Difficult ball for him to keep in. Here goes St. Mary's again. Was that a foul throw? What's the call here? Maybe not taken from the right position. Blanchisseuse bench. Well, the assistant referee is having a discussion with members on the bench. I think he is taking on board some of their suggestions. Here's the shot by the Blanchisseuse forward, which is hit against the defender. And now they start up an attack down the right-hand side. They're looking for a long ball themselves. Headed away there by Williams. Back with St. Mary's. Parks tries to get them going through the center. And the Saints come marching up the left-hand side. Hasn't been able to keep that one in play. CIC's ball at the moment. Those old buildings at the back there. That was part of the film center. Old film center, now abandoned, I believe. Back when media was different, there was the film center back there. Also the census board, just not too far from there. 57 minutes here. Blanchisseuse looking for a third goal. They have numbers up. And the shot on goal is easily saved. There was a deflection. That's why Tyrese Henry was diving away off one of his own players. Very much alert to the situation and prevented the corner. Well, the back heel didn't quite work there. And now Blanchisseuse bring it the other way. Mansell with the cross. There's a player in the center, and Simon does well to punch that away. You could see that the forward was rising above him. Still managed to get the hand on it. Blanchisseuse has moved down the right-hand side, looking to menace St. Mary's here. That comes all the way back down to Henry. And you can see the urgency in the St. Mary's players, because the time is going by here. Almost 15 minutes gone in the second half, and still they haven't managed to get back to parity. Still down by 2-1, and only those couple of chances early in the half, which were spurned by Ryan Radelant. One of the talking points of St. Mary's outside of their success in football over the past couple of weeks was the couple of national awards that went their way. And two of the St. Mary's boys would have received national awards. Dr. Avery Hines, former St. Mary's student, received a national award over the weekend, and that was for his role in guiding the country through the pandemic. There was also the 15-year-old who's still a student at St. Mary's. That's Greg Manette. He received a national award for gallantry. Saved a doctor from drowning in the waters of no man's land in Tobago just 5 months ago. And received the Hummingbird Bronze Medal for gallantry last Saturday night at the National Awards. He was one of 4 people who received the Hummingbird Bronze Medal. And got a nice warm conversation with President Paula May Weeks, and a hug and a handshake from the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley. And young Mr. Manette plays water polo, actually. Said he was extremely honored to receive such a prestigious award. Nice weekend, week for St. Mary's College as they got in the news. Just to remind you that Dr. Avery Hines, Technical Director of Epidemiology, he received the Shakonia Medal Gold for long and meritorious service to promote national welfare. Player's been held up here. That's why I've had the time to tell you about what's happened. There was an injury which was being treated. Don't know what got the game restarted. Here is now Kirk. Kirk went and left the ball. St. Mary's will bring it the other way. There's the substitute for St. Mary's. That is Dusan Cooper who's on. Here is Manswell getting that one forward. Radilant, I think that's Cooper again. It is Cooper who's on. Ball has gone the way of St. Mary's, and unsportingly, the St. Mary's player Manswell kicking it away. Again, very lucky not to get a yellow card. That sort of behavior is frowned upon at international level and should be the same at schoolboy level. That's schoolboy petulance. Just gone over the 61st minute mark here. Sure, the CIC boys would have seen what transpired across in Thailand, where Trinidad and Tobago losing both games there. Simon does well. He comes for it and almost gives the chance there to the substitute Cooper. Mary's have brought a couple of players on there. Christoph Brooks is another one who's come on. Guess you can tell the uniforms are very much cleaner. Manzo. They get the cross in. That's a good pass. Just a bit overweighted there. He's looking for the run of Cooper, who was just coming around the outside. So the training session continues at the far side. You can almost see the police barrack grounds, those lights that you're seeing at the back there. Police barracks just over on that in that direction. And Charlize Hood, the referee, would certainly remember that her dad is the coach of the police team. Sure, he's doing some work at the same time this match is being played with the police faithful. Still St. Mary's battling away. 17.5 minutes in the second half, and they still trail. Lost the lead in the 33rd minute. That was an acrobatic clearance, and that could be construed as dangerous play. Certainly would. I think that's the call here by referee Charlize Hood against the play there by Abraham Kirk. Acrobatic clearance, but it will go the way of St. Mary's College. And Kirk, who looked very unsettled in the first half, was very displeased he was not asked to take a free kick. He's now found even less joy as referee Hood has told him, none of that, son. That's dangerous play. Harrison Parks, the captain, will take the free kick. St. Mary's supporters in their numbers here, looking on, getting a closer look at the game. This one swept in towards the near post. Mishit there by Parks, but St. Mary's lose possession now as that is a free kick. Blanchisseuse trying to hit on the break, this time less successfully. St. Mary's funneling players back a lot more quickly now. They're not being caught out by that long ball as they were twice in the first half. Trying to outflank the Blanchisseuse team now is the St. Mary's College players, and I think they have won the corner. Last touch by Blanchisseuse, possibly off the foot there of Chavez. Is that that is the number 3 Noriega who's on for Blanchisseuse. This one's loose in the area and put wide. Well, one of the substitutes who's come on, got the chance to be a hero and equalize for his team, and he's put that wide. Here's the corner coming in. Another one, perhaps a mishit there. And didn't get the contact. There were 4 St. Mary's players there who could have possibly put that in, and CIC still continue to be frustrated. Almost 20 minutes in now, and still they can't find the equalizer at home. Serpentine Road is a nervous place to be at this time, as the Saints come marching up once again. Pascal directing traffic there for CIC at the back. Calendar. Given back to Blanchisseuse. Here's Kirk. He's enjoying himself out there, Kirk. Gets across in. An attempt at a pass that doesn't quite work out for the other Kirk. That's Roger Kirk. Mary's trying to give Blanchisseuse a taste of their own medicine. Oh, that's a heavy tackle, and that's a free kick. Yeah, that one of the St. Mary's. Well, the tackle was so heavy that Williams lost his shin guard into play. Socks slipping down his right leg and had to pick it up. Now, this is the sort of situation that we saw Parks hit a couple of very good shots in the first half. And marking out his run-up almost like a spin bowler here. Maybe a little bit longer. 3-man wall, and he's gonna try this one with the right foot. And now with the left foot. Connell with the initial shot, and the second shot just rising over the bar. So that's 4 chances now for St. Mary's in the second half. It was, the first shot was by Nelson. Then the second shot, well struck, but couldn't keep it down. St. Mary's College, certainly a lot of teams. They are practicing, is that penalties they're practicing in the background there? No penalties just yet. There have been a few close calls in this game. Referee Hood has had a good game again. One of the rising stars in refereeing here in Trinidad and Tobago. Former player herself, former defender. She might be that little bit sympathetic towards defenders. Simon comes for it, and maybe not in the approved fashion there. It's easy to get injured coming through like that. The prone slide might be the better way. Nice looking move. Blanchisseuse work their way down the right. They have made a change again, Blanchisseuse, and during that period that and I think one of the players on there, McKillie Whiskey, is on. So a shot of whiskey in the second half here for Blanchisseuse. 22 minutes to go. It's 2-1 at the moment. Still they're looking for this equalizer here. St. Mary's College. It's Cooper. Gets past the player once. And now here's Manswell looking to get the cross in. He does. And St. Mary's, well, ill-advised shot. He did have a player to his right. And if he had slipped him the pass, there was an alarming hole that opened up in the center of the Blanchisseuse defense. Could have gone straight through and in on goal. Just those moments that these youngsters, they look back, they'll see where their mistakes are. Hopefully they can learn from them in the other games, dealing with these different game situations. More like a tennis match at the moment, the ball going this way and that. So remind you, Connell's goal in the 17th minute put St. Mary's ahead. Direct from the corner. Hit it with the outside of the right foot and put it in. Blanchisseuse getting goals from Blaisdell in the 33rd and then equalizing in the 45th. One of their players down at the back. This could be Calendar, who's down. As we approach the 20-minute to go mark. And this is an injury here that St. Mary's College can ill afford. With the experienced defenders at the back going down. Certainly the students at the top of your picture, they'll be discussing the possibilities of what could happen here in the last 20 minutes. Still a game that St. Mary's College can win. They've had 4 chances in the second half. Blanchisseuse have not been able to carve out a chance. There was one deflected shot that went wide. Outside of that, not much to write home about here from the boys from the North Coast. Touch of cramp, perhaps. Certainly hope it's not a hamstring. Cassius Humphrey just working on the defender. Charlie's Hood having a look at her watch here. And another. As if to perhaps suggest that, yes, you need to take him off the field to continue the treatment. Seems to be okay now, just stretching it out. It was actually Pascal who was out there. A restart play here with the drop ball. And Harrison Parks starts it up for St. Mary's. Immediately goes for the long ball. Blanchisseuse have been used to seeing those come their way. Into the area, St. Mary's threatening here towards the back post and headed wide. Excellent chance created once again, and maybe just beyond the forward on the far side. It was chipped in. And the forward coming in may be better advised to head that one back across goal. Certainly would have been difficult to get that one in on goal. Went for goal all the same and just missed it at the near post. 18 minutes to go in the second half here, and Blanchisseuse, that's the 5th chance for St. Mary's in the second half. They're getting closer and closer here. Here's Williams. And again, overlapping run here for Williams. He's taking on this CIC defense. They have numbers up here, Blanchisseuse. There's Whiskey. Oh, he sets up a good chance there for Hernandez, who got the shot off, and it was blocked. Here's Hernandez again. Big defender. Gets it towards Kirk. Kirk is robbed of it. That's Roger Kirk. And Blanchisseuse, just as they did in the first half, it's coming alive in these little pockets of space here. And mostly it is when that man Williams is involved in any of their moves, they always look very dangerous. Here come the Saints again. This is the ball forward by Garcia. Only as far as the covering run of the Blanchisseuse player at the back. Well, that was Noriega involved in the play. And also Quintero. Security officer on the far side looking on as the Saints come looking for the equalizer again. Manswell. Hooks it forward. That's a nice little move. Gets it away from the defender. Too many blue shirts around. And the blue shirts have it again. And it's with Roger Kirk. Well, a pass that frees up Whiskey on the far side. Whiskey confronted by 2 defenders. And loses out to the second of them. Back to Whiskey. And wins the throw-in for his team on the far side of the field. You can tell it's heavy, not not that you could run in slippers out there. High heels are a different proposition. Noriega just leaving it for the big figure of Andy Quintero to take this one. Headed away by the St. Mary's defense. They have numbers back. They've been difficult to break down when they have numbers en masse. Problem has been for them when they've been left spare. The long ball has kept them out. So they will have a couple of players back there to cover those long balls played by Blanchisseuse. There was a little bit of pinball on the far side. Here's Whiskey. Wins the throw-in for his team. Actually goes the other way. Well, referee's assistant was pointing one way and then the next and then pointing the other way again. Now, if they go and score St. Mary's here, that really was Blanchisseuse, and that was their ball. It's given away here. Race on down the left-hand side for St. Mary's. Williams is he is a very tough character to get the ball past. All-out commitment there by Williams on the far side. Tell you what, it's 76 minutes into the game and he is still sticking to his task admirably. Get some instructions from his coach. Yeah, didn't quite hear what the referee was saying. I think he says he's taking a blow to the left side of the face here. And once he is not 100%, St. Mary's will find some strength here. That was played into the area and headed. The keeper has missed it. And St. Mary's still have the ball here. They've been able to keep this in play. That's not well cleared. And the ball is back with St. Mary's College. Only briefly, though. Donovan gets that forward. Here's Whiskey. Quite a few players slipping and falling. Of course, when Naprima defeated Speyside, one of their coach saying that they didn't have the correct footwear for the heavy conditions at Lewis Extension. Not a field that drains terribly well, Lewis Extension. Because there was that match which was abandoned just about a week before that when the heavy rains came. This one's deflected across the goal, and Williams is there for Blanchisseuse. That was the tropical depression that passed across Trinidad, which eventually became Tropical Storm Ian, and now Hurricane Ian battering Florida. Last 22 minutes of the game now, and 12 minutes, correction. And it is nervous moments here for St. Mary's College as they trail Blanchisseuse at home 2-1. They haven't quite been able to recapture the form that they had in the first half an hour, where they really didn't make hay while the sun was hot. Parks looks like he is going to strike this one at goal. Possibility of a substitution to be had at this point. Yeah. Of course, Blanchisseuse will do nothing quickly at this point. They want to preserve that 2-1 lead. Parks is looking on as another player goes off. Who's it going to be this time? Still a few options on the bench there for St. Mary's. One of them is Elijah Wong. Here's the ball towards goal and easily taken there by Kirk Simon. Maybe not the best struck shot there by Harrison Parks. Certainly not like the one he forced to save from Simon in the first half. Really good shot that Simon touched onto the bar. Desperate times here for the Saints. That's not going to go over, and I don't think the player was quite aware of the rope there, and Elijah Wong That's one of the players I mentioned. Just ran straight into the rope. That could have been catastrophic. Referee's assistant, difficult time for him today. Not only is he looking into the setting sun, but also has very, very muddy bit of field to run into. Someone's going to have to spend a lot of time cleaning out those boots later on. Our cameraman doing yeoman service. I'm sure he's gotten hazard pay for this. Up on the heights here at Serpentine Road. Last 10 minutes here, and this time it is down the right-hand side. It's Ross for Blanchisseuse. He's come on. Sabazan loses out, and St. Mary's now have some space down the left-hand side. Here they go. This could be interesting if he can get the cross in. There are players inside the box, and the keepers come for it. He might be the smallest man on the field, but he's had the heart of a giant here today. Cook, Simon, his saves have kept his team ahead 2-1 here. Couldn't do anything about the Olympico goal. That was a brilliantly struck corner. Aside from that, he's pulled off some fine saves. Shadows of the trees on the far side now lengthening across the ground. And between light and shadow, CIC are searching for an equalizer. And they could have it here. Two players free on the far side. Gets that one towards the byline and over the byline for a goal kick. This will be a famous victory here for Blanchisseuse if they can hold on. It would certainly be one that they will remember for a long time. Toppling the mighty CIC at home. CIC desperately looking for the equalizer. Here they go. Last 8 minutes here now. That's all that's remaining here for the Saints. Blanchisseuse says anywhere will do for them at the moment as they try to kick this one clear. Saints supporters at the bottom of your picture can barely look as they see their team down by 2-1 inside the last 7 minutes and seconds remaining here. The Saints, who were looking like they were going to run up a cricket score, are now looking they hope that they can get at least one goal. Kirk is going to be substituted, but referee Hood, to save time, has sent him packing on this side of the field. He was hoping to make the long trek across to eat up some time. St. Mary's have it on the other side of the field, only temporarily though. That was Cooper, who is now patrolling down the left-hand side. There in your right hand of your picture where that car is parked, that's the swimming pool. So the facilities here, very wide and different range of sports offered here at St. Mary's College. Hey, that's some good handiwork there. Get some mud on her arms for her troubles though. And that is hit long and clear. Anywhere will do right now for Blanchisseuse, who are just 6 minutes away from a famous victory. Huge pressure here for CIC. They defeated their arch rivals Mukarapo 3-0 in their last game. And many who would see this Blanchisseuse team as an unfancied team, they would not think so. They have come here to Serpentine Road and they are hanging tough with this 2-1 lead. They've led since the 45th minute. They've led here for quite a long time, and doesn't that picture sum up what's happened today? St. Mary's could be flawed here themselves. Here's Pascal. Finds Manswell. On the march again, the Saints. Space down the right. The cross into the box. Oh, and that's a bit of miscontrol there, and straight back to Simon. At the other end, they could be punished. It's Whiskey. Onto the left foot here, Whiskey. And away with Calendar. Manswell, in fact, gets the ball clear. Another good ball over the defense here for St. Mary's. And the player goes down heavily. That looked like a two-footed challenge there by Abraham Kirk. Or was it? Donovan was left trailing. No, it wasn't a two-footed challenge. It came true, but I think he took the man with him. And he apologizes to the youngster from St. Mary's and just pulls him to his feet. And that's one of the substitutes, Elijah Wong, who's come on. Could show a sportsmanship between those two. It's been a fiercely contested match. Good to see that in this match. Here's one of the other substitutes, Nathan Young behind that one, the number 8. There also is Cooper, the number 20. Two substitutes trying to work up something here that will give their team the equalizer with just under 4 minutes to go now. Exactly the situation that Blanchisseuse would not have wanted, to give up a free kick so close to goal. Young with the shot straight against the wall, and that's cleared downfield. They're walking on eggshells right now, St. Mary's College, as they look for the equalizer here. Difficult conditions for them. Well, that's a good little run. Gets past 2. Not past the 3rd. Who set up a chance here. Chance here for Blanchisseuse to win it! And that was a good bit of goalkeeping by Henry. And Ross had broken through, but just at the last moment, timing his challenge very well, Tyrese Henry, and picked that up without committing the foul. 2.5 minutes still to go here, and CIC trail Blanchisseuse by 2-1. So that is the end of this presentation. Apologies for not getting the final goal to you. This one ended with St. Mary's College and Blanchisseuse at 2-2. Eventually, St. Mary's College got a late goal from Elijah Wong, and they tied it up at 2-2 apiece. So St. Mary's College, who had a great start to the game, looked like they would run away with it after their goal by Connell, gave up 2 goals to Blanchisseuse in the last 12 minutes, and they equalized late to earn a 2-2 draw at home at Serpentine Road. Hope you've enjoyed this presentation here on Tiger Sports International. I'm Vidya Ramphal. It's bye for now.